P Square. Rude boy. He has never spoken, but something has made him. Finally, he wanted to speak up. P Square. Let's talk about P Square. P Square, Nigerian music duo composed of the twin brothers Peter Okoye and Paul Okoye. Songs like, Danger Invasion. No, albums like Danger Invasion, Double Trouble, Get Squared. Probably the biggest group out of Nigeria ever. I think it's safe to say that. But P Square has a few hit songs out there. I'm not going to start naming them right now. I think my favorite is No One Like You. That song, yeah, that's my favorite of P Square. That song. But I also like one of the most recent ones. But anyway, they're breaking up for the 50th time. They are actually twin brothers in real life. In real life, they are twin brothers. All right. So these guys, they've been going back and forth. But there's also a third element to this. He said element, Abby. No. There's a third element. There's a fourth element. Okay. Potentially a fifth element. Also a sixth element. Okay. Namely, okay, we have Lola. Right. Lola. What's her last name? Omotayo. We have Jude Okoye, their elder brother. That's another element. We have, the element is talking about is Peter Okoye, his twin brother. But we have him himself, Paul Okoye. We have Money, another element. Somebody said, check my system. Are you talking about me? Can you guys hear me? Let me check my system. Can you guys hear me? Oh, somebody couldn't hear me. Check your system. I'm loud. Mercy, I'm here. Welcome, Natu. I've been Natu, you don't hear before. Can you guys hear me? Let me know you can hear me. Oh, I shall just check. All right, good. We're good to go. All right, so there's multiple elements. There's a lot of elements to this, But, these guys, they blew up back in, I'll say maybe around 2001 or so. That's when I started paying attention to them. Thank you, Chia. I started paying attention around 2001. So they've been around for a minute. At this point, P Square, both of them are legends. They are considered legends because Afrobeat is actually kind of young anyway. Right. So anyway, let me read a little bit of their bio again. Noted for their artistic reinventions, musical versatility, and visual presentation, they are widely regarded as one of the most influential African acts of all time. One of the most successful music groups out of Africa. I think P Square would actually give Usher a run. Usher is really good, but they're very good in terms of dancing, presentation, performance, but even their vocal capabilities. They are very, very good at what they do, So, yeah, easy. Yeah, oh, that's another one of my favorites. Personally, that's one of the most recent ones. Not that recent, but personally, I like that song too. So yeah, most people know them, but I wanted to cover this story because, particularly this guy that is talking, Rude Boy, his nickname is actually Paul Okoye. He's been talking for a while. Unfortunately, his wife left him a while back. Now you might say, what does that have to do with what's going on right now? We will link it all together, I promise. Let's listen a little bit more to this. He's talking about the element now. You see, The fact is that there's a lot that we don't know. That's very true. That there's a lot that we don't know. But Baba, we know enough to formulate an opinion. You know, it's just opinion. It's no big deal. It's opinion, okay? We're just trying to extract some lessons here. Maybe we too can learn one or two things, okay? Let's keep going. Is the audio not good enough? Can you guys hear Rude Boy talking or no? Let me see. Okay, you guys need to let me know up front. Thank you. It's not good, so let me refresh. I'll refresh. I'll be back. He's at. Welcome back. All right, you guys should be able to hear it now. Let's
That's I call him the singer. You start getting to your head,
and it starts to grow.
And you start growing. Then you start acting somehow, you know. So,
but can we say just like she asked, are P Square good right now?
No,
they're not.
I said before. I will tell you I don't say anything about it, but something happened that I didn't begin to see that I need to start speaking up, because it got to a level where I can. Like what I never expected happened to me.
Okay, so he wants to start speaking up. Let's see what else he's saying.
So now,
if you've ever dreamed of owning an apartment complex and you live near one of these cities, then you've got to see the same ad that
all of a sudden, I can guarantee you that maybe because you guys are media, we have a song that we did with T.I. You know, to start because the content of that song. They did not hear that voice, they did not hear that kind of thing they want to hear. They have something to say. I'm just waiting for them to finish their vitamin P protest. When they are done, boy featuring
it's on everything, right? The same
P
Square sound.
I've said it before.
All right. You know, it's actually the case, and
yeah, but that's the issue.
Don't rub it in my face, type of thing. Like, oh my God,
bro. Like I say, you can see I've never been outspoken, but like I said, that's why you have food. And Paul is cleared. Everything you accuse him of, we've done an investigation. No. And what was?
Okay, so now I found it. So he's talking about there was a petition that was filed, something like that, and it was invited by the EFCC, Nigeria's equivalent of FBI. And that's what he's talking about right now. Let's listen to it.
They started investigation. I was there. That was that the kind of question they started asking myself. I wasn't comfortable anymore. I said, what is this? Then, when I knew it was a bit kind of serious, was when I said, you have to get the shorty, you have to get the lawyer, you have to get this. I said,
whoa.
What?
Whoa.
Okay,
whoa.
I did everything.
Whoa.
Then, what then happened? 1 month ago, they called me, they called him, they called other brother. Said, first of all, we have to say that after all investigation, Paul is innocent, first, and Paul is cleared. Everything you accuse him of, we've done an investigation, no.
Who is you accusing him? Let's go back a little bit.
What I had was, he told me in his face that, in fact, he wants to quit. I said, okay, can we make it public? No. What would that happen? When I go solo, they'll call me the bad person. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's why you're speaking out more now.
So now, that's why I said I need to start speaking.
I'm scrambling around, but you're getting the gist, right? Don't worry, I'll bring you up to speed.
I have this thing they're hearing now because I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But if I can't, the new P Square was more like, okay, there was peace, there was everything, but I needed the mistake of others.
All right, so let's talk now. Okay, so P Square, they used to live together. They had like a big house and stuff like that. They used to live together with the whole family. They got married and all that kind of stuff. At some point, Peter Paul Okoye moved out of the house. Are you paying attention? At some point, he moved out with his girl, Lola Omotayo. Right now, They try to bring in that she's much older than, she's much older than her. I mean, sorry, than him, right? She's like almost 10 years older than her, right? Sorry, than him. she's much more older than him, and they try to bring that in. I think it's a relevant information too, because again, this conversation we want to have, there's involvement of a little bit of in-law drama in it. Okay, that's why. So the Jude stuff is not just a manager issue, as much as they like to paint it as is a manager money disagreement. No, it's a lot of in-law stuff going on in there, right? And obviously there's money as well, right? So, but anyway, at some point, I think Peter started complaining that his wife, Lola Omotayo, let me see if I can find Lola Omotayo's picture, so you guys can put a picture to all of this, right? That she's not being treated fairly by Jude, who is their elder brother. So that was creating a lot of drama between them. So eventually, remember, you know this whole thing where people said, let's just come together and build a family and all of us can stay in one compound, just like of the olden days. This is Lola Motayo with her husband. They're still married. Now, yes, she's much older than him. But also, I've noticed something about Peter. I'm looking at Peter's comment here from April 2023. There's a report here on Daily Post. Remember when we covered the story, the Akimi story, that all of Nigerians, that everybody was just shouting, your mother is your family, your wife is a stranger. We covered that a little bit yesterday too. So there's actually a report here on Daily Post during the Akimi story last year. I didn't realize that's already like over a year ago. So apparently Peter said, marry your mother if you can't trust your wife. Okay. So again, there's certain mindset here, right? There's a certain mindset here. I'm going to read this real quick. Nigerian famous singer Peter Okoye of the P Square Music Group has reacted to the divorce saga of the defender Ashraf Hakimi. The social media was flooded with reports of the millionaire footballer divorcing his wife, Hiba Abuk, on Friday, even though at one point they told us that the whole news was fake. There was no credibility to the story. Nigerians like, no, my mother is my family. Anyway, the fact that he will say this, right, tells me, it gives me a good idea of his mindset as opposed to Paul Okoye's mindset, just off of the limited information that we have. So this is his wife. So anyway, at some point, Peter moved out of the house. They called it, I think they called it Squareville. Like, they had studios, everybody knew what that was back then, you know. He moved out, and that's how people started to speculate on some kind of division between the two of them, right? Also, at the same time, Peter was also complaining that, you know, so at some point, even myself, I was like, why is this guy always complaining about his siblings and stuff like that? I'm really just starting to pay attention to their full story, you know. But he was complaining about not just his twin brother, but also the elder brother, who is Jude, who was their manager. Okay. So he was complaining that Jude was being disrespectful to their wife. Now, some of the reports are also saying that the wife was also very instrumental in how they came to the limelight back in the late 90s into early 2000s. Apparently, she used to work for some entertainment edge of a big corporation company at the time. So she was instrumental. So, you know, again, this is now a matter of money between a wife. If you understand what the position of a wife is in a family in Nigeria, you know, that's like, you know, like stay in your place, like stay in your lane kind of deal. Like, we handle this. This is our money, not your wife. You know what I mean? You get it? You don't get it? Okay, just forget about it. But anyway, so Peter was fighting for his wife to be respected. He moved out. But from all the stories, what I am getting is like, it's not just a matter of just this is about money, right? It's a matter of there was also some elements of the family did not want him to be with that girl. Because again, you to think about it, your son, who is 26 years old, is bringing home a woman of 35 years old. And your son in recent time has just blown. Is a popular musician, bringing in a lot of money, right? You as a mother, you're like, it's like another Akimi story. So it is no wonder, right? It's no wonder that, Peter can probably relate with Akimi in that way. Again, we all tend to relate with the sides of the story that makes the most sense with us, the side of our brain that works. Anyway, so there's been quite a few statements from Paul over time. Like, for example, the comment, I never seem to understand him too. Marriott, it's not just you, but I was trying to listen, and sorry for boring you out with that. But what he was saying essentially is that his brother called the EFCC on him, and in recent time he's also said he doesn't want to be a part of it again. Then he went ahead to tell us all the songs he's written. He's written more than 90 plus something percent of all the songs and stuff like that. So he was basically just saying, listen, I wrote most of the songs. And so again, that's aligning with some of the accusations that Peter gave in the past, which is the fact that he's been reduced. He felt like he was reduced down to a dancer. So now he's talking for the first time. According to him, he's now gained the courage to talk for the first time. I beg to differ. He's been talking quite a lot, especially when anything has to do, like, for example, he had something interesting to say about Cedar Budge. I actually think he actually got some lashback from Cedar Budge too, because he, every time he sees an opportunity to, he does that. But anyway, he's filed, his wife has since filed for divorce. So, but I have to give him credit. He does a good job when it comes to their public presentation as a co-parent. So he does a good job at that. But then he always, from what I always see, he always seems like he has some subliminals. He looks like it seems like he's looking for opportunities in all the other trendy news to throw subliminals. It's just something I've personally noticed myself, But again, I could be wrong, because he's right. We don't know 99% of what's going on behind the scenes. But what we know is that family, there's a problem. Okay. What we also know is that Peter has managed to keep his family together. Right. In fact, what we know is that as early as back as some years back, Peter has removed his wife and his family away from the square view, the family compound. The family compound thing, I like the idea. It's just dangerous. I bring everybody together. Everybody loves me. My family, I'm like the superstar in my family. I like it too. That was me. Ideally, that's what we want to have, a big, happy family. But it's so dangerous. Oh my God. It's so dangerous. Why? Why can't people just get along? Me too, I'm asking the same question. Why can't people just get along? I have the same question. But one thing we know is that it's often hard for people to get along. At some point, they were trying to hide the hours between them. There was rumors that they broke up. Everybody in like, what? They're twins. How can they break up? That doesn't make any sense. What is this? Some kind of Destiny Child nonsense? How can they break up? It's impossible, right? Eventually, the story started leaking into the public, and let me play this for you. This actually got leaked into the public eventually. Watch this.
Successful. If I call your house, what's going to happen? Man, bring my coffee.
Shout out to Nezeville.
Is that your coffee come? If I call nigga, you don't know what to do. Repeat it. See, repeat it. Peter, shame on you. Peter, boss, say shame on you. Stop it. Boss, say shame on you. Put up your lawyer. I shame on you. Go on, give me a minute.
So it looks like that was shout out to Linda AKG blog and Nezeville. It looks like that was Peter filming that. You know how people say, let me film evidence. I need evidence, right? But that's between brothers. That's very, very, very sad, So anyway, I wanted to pull out some of these lessons because I feel like a lot of people, they really, again, that's just wrong. I know it's wrong. Families should be able to live in the same compound and get along. We should be able to invite our parents over and they should stay for as long as they can. You should. But are you prepared for that? Have you set up the foundation for that? No. Family can do business together. Yes, they should be able to do business together. Did you set up the right foundation for that? Can you ever comprehend what I'm talking about? Because sometimes when you haven't seen what it can look like, how nasty it can get, you can't really comprehend what we're talking about. The only thing you can see is, well, what are we doing if we can't come together and just get along? That's all you can see. But once you don't collect shege, you probably can relate it to what I'm saying. It's real. It's real. So I'm saying this again. They're splitting again right now. I'm not surprised. Who are they going to blame it on? The wives? Right? Now, one of the wives has moved on. Paul is remarried, traditionally remarried a new younger girl, right? And yesterday we covered that story with Uche, who was making a commentary on it, right? Like, he was saying, like, you're going to mess up your next marriage. Again, Peter is also complaining of Jude and Paul, his twin brother, ganging up on him, right? Ganging up on him. Like, wait, what do you mean, right? Wait, is Lola Omotayo, his wife, involved? Yes. Is defending his wife, is protecting his wife, right? Was the other wife before that involved? Not so. The only thing we found out is that at some point she basically just filed for divorce and left, and now they're the best co-parents in town. So he's correct. We will never know everything that's going on behind the scenes, but what I can see here is that there's too much going. They are brothers. You know, it sounds evil to try to tear brothers apart, but brothers, let me advise you. See, my brother and I, you guys met my brother last week. This is something that we've had to understand. It's something we have to manage, okay? Well, what kind of wives are you married to that can allow you to come together? You're right. But do you have the foundation for what you're... Listen, it's not just about your wives. It's about any type of collaborative efforts between human beings. It will create friction. Do you have the capacity to withstand the friction that will be created? Abi, you're like, no, it shouldn't be. Should not be. Are you fantasizing again? You're fantasizing again. So they broke up. You know, that fight we saw right there. They reunited in 2021 and they tried to bring things back together. But unfortunately, I think also they involved some other... In fact, as of yesterday, there's this video. Let me see if I can play this video for you real quick. Let's look at this video. See this video?
It's my family.
This video of Peter Obi visiting. This is the elder brother and Paul. So elder brother and Paul, they seem to be on the same page. It looks like their third twin brother, like they're triplets. They all look alike, right? So somebody was saying, hey, maybe he's trying to mediate between the two of them. Let me tell you something about this, bro. For someone to mediate between the two of them, or the 3 or 4 or 5 of them, they better know what they're doing. You know why it's very hard to mediate between the two of them? Because the families are involved. Who is the family? Well, his wife, Lola Okoye, and Jude, both playing the role of some type of manager, right? Human emotions are not your mate. This type of people also tend to like emotions. Why are we dealing here? People disagree with each other all the time. What is the issue? Exactly. So there are emotions involved. Are you prepared? Are you prepared to handle bringing the whole family together to do business together? Most people, the reality is that most people are not prepared for that. They're not. Okay, if anybody has figured it out, it's because they don't collect first. They collect shaggy. They don't show each other shaggy first, and then somehow they're lucky enough that somebody picks up the pieces, and then they have to navigate the emotions. When you mix in marriage with all of that, It's a dangerous game. Very, very dangerous game to play. You know. So again, I guess Peter realized that even though they reunited, Peter was like, you know what? I don't know. I don't think we're, you know, I think everybody should just go their separate ways. Now, let me tell you something about Lola. Lola may be matured enough to be able to handle this, but a lot of women can't handle it. The embarrassment is also a heavy weight for them to carry. It might seem like Peter is supporting his wife right now. Eventually, at some point, the shame, the embarrassment, like it seems like I'm the cause of the division in your family. Women also tend to struggle with that, even though they might have indirectly asked for it in the first place. Gentlemen, listen to me carefully. Okay, this is the part that confuses you, and you're like, so why can't they just be at the, it's the truth across the board. Okay, they might ask you for something, but they don't mean it kind of like that, but they kind of mean it like that. This is where you need help. Okay, this is where you need help. There's a good chance that you're carrying a bigger weight than you can actually carry. So even Peter himself is not exonerated from this, you know, but at least he's taking care of his own front, because his primary responsibility is his immediate family, and that means your wife and your kids. Everybody else go there all right. No, listen, that's how you need to, it's called priorities. That's the best chances you have at bringing the family together. You got to take care of your home front first. And yes, in the beginning, initially, it can be a very tough thing, because at the back of your mind, you're like, that's not fair. Like, that's wrong. How are you going to divide me against my family, right? That's probably what Paul did. That's probably what became a deal breaker for Paul and Anita. That's probably what led down to Anita saying, you know what, enough is enough. Of course, along with many other things, I think she's claiming infidelity, right? She might just not be able to withstand it, right? Maybe Paul is busy saying, no, stay out of this. And this one is like, babe, you're my best friend. Which one do you think is going to survive? Well, Allah, that's terrible. Why should you have to simp to a woman to survive? You're not getting it. It's called priorities. Okay, again, your best chances is to show up as a man, right? You take care of your home front, your own family first, and everybody else will follow if they belong there, right? And if you can't do that, hey, there's a cost to pay for that. Sometimes you have to divide your household. Your children will have to go to different households and stuff like that. Well, that's sad. They should be adults. You're right. They should be adults. Yeah. You know, but I'm convinced that men are more pained. They're more disappointed. They get more disappointment from the house breaking apart. Why? Because they never expected it. They don't think it's going to be a thing until it becomes their reality.
I never expected it.
That's what makes the disappointment greater. The great disappointment is a function of your expectations. It's not just because you are better than her. The disappointment, the weight, the magnitude of the disappointment is a function of your expectations. So since men basically conclude that you have nowhere else to go until it actually happens to them. I know, sorry, big English. Sorry. Let me slow down. I hope you get it, yeah. I hope you get it. You get it? You get it?
You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it. Right.
Forget about it. So that's what I'm seeing playing out again. What are the elements here? Again, in-laws, wives. Whose wife is whose fault is it, right? Who's the wives at fault here? Is she manipulating her husband Peter against her brother? What do you guys think? Is she manipulating her brother, the brothers against each other? Is Paul Okoye manipulating the brothers against each other? Is it possible? Yes. Welcome to the real world. Is it possible? Yes. Of course. Of course. Welcome to the real world, gentlemen. Yes. Yes. Right? Who's responsible for that? Let me ask you. Who should be responsible for that? Wait. Who should take responsibility for that? The atrocity person caused her now? No, bro. Let me ask again. We should be responsible for that.
Not be Juju be that.
No be you won't be leader. You won't be leader. Yeah, use now. So it's going to take a lot of patience on your part. It's doable. support is quite helpful. If you are denying emotions from playing out the way they're supposed to play out, you go collect. Yes. Because that is just, emotions are literally the reality. If you ever say reality ever in your life, we're talking about emotions. You can talk them in all you want. You can suppress them all you want. You can. But emotions don't care.
Don't care.
It doesn't care. It doesn't care. So you suppress it, but it comes back up eventually, no matter how many years. You know, when people say the truth is the emotions. The truth is undefeated. What do you mean? So we should just move in emotion? No, that's a different topic. The point is that you should acknowledge that emotions are playing a part, and you must employ emotional intelligence when you're dealing with these issues. That's the point. The point is not that you should let your emotions lead you. The point is the reverse. You should first of all acknowledge that there are emotions, and then understand that when their emotions are involved, all right and wrong, they go right out the window. But that's wrong. I know. I agree with you. That's the point. Right? So you need to be aware. You need to be self-aware about your own emotions, and then pay attention to the fact that the other person is also operating from a place of, no matter how logical they claim, they're operating from a place of emotions, right? And then understand that we live in a society, and there are societal standards and stuff like that. If you are going to swim against them, you better know what you're doing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I am saying. But there's a letter here. Peter has responded with a letter, and I want us to read the letter. Shout out to Instablog Nigeria. Number one, so Peter responded to the video of all the accusations. Right? Peter responded. Peter said, I never attempted or tried to use the EFCC, number one, to arrest my twin brother Paul. Remember, see? Now, again, let's see if it's believable, right? For me, what Paul was referencing earlier is basically an invitation. There was an investigation going on, and it was invited to clear up some things. It wasn't necessarily an arrest. It could have been, but it wasn't necessarily an arrest, okay? But of course, he painted the picture like it was an arrest. But he also told us that he said, you are cleared, and he went home. All right, so, but he painted that picture, and the ones that are empath with the types of Paul will say, you called the police on your brother. He said, I'll tell you, like, listen, was that police? What even if it was police? Anyway, so he said, before I tell you the whole story, here is what I need you all to understand. Hold on one second, please. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. Just wanted to make sure that the noise are reduced. Okay. Before I tell you the whole story, here's what I need you all to understand. It's always surprising to me when people say P Square is always bringing their family matters into the public eye. Let me clarify this. P Square is not just a family. It's a public brand. That's a good point. That is a fantastic point already. Let me come to the chat for a second before I continue this. Uncle Beno says, everybody go collect for family matter. The earlier you set boundaries, the better for you and wifey. Yes. She looks amazing. You can't even tell they have that age difference. Voila. Family issues are so deep and complicated to resolve at times. Okay. So when I said earlier that money, I like the way he put it. It's personal. It's it's a big brand. Multi-million dollars worth of brand. P Square is not just your, everybody when they comment on this, they comment like it's just their family compound and stuff. No, this is a big multi-million dollar brand. Okay? So when you mix that together with family is not your mates. Yes, you better know what you're doing. You better know what you're doing. Okay? There's going to be need for, somebody's going to have to be humble. And who's going to be humble first? Who's going to play the humility role first? Who is going to say, I don't care about fairness. I'm just going to relax a little bit. Let me listen to the other side. Let me see where they're coming from. Who's going to do that first? It's definitely not going to be the person that's not fair. It's not going to be that person, right? Now, obviously, the end goal is for fairness, but most people want to start with fairness, like immediately, right now. Anyway, so yes, they're very deep issues. Jude has always used the twins for clout, because they will be thinking the wife is controlling him. Yes, they will definitely think that. Human beings are not your goddamn mate. Yes, they're not though. They're not. Anyway, let me continue the letter. So it's always surprising to me when people say P Square, quote and unquote, is always bringing their family matters into the public eye. Let me clarify this. P Square is not just a family, it's a public brand. But Peter, Paul, Jude, Anita, Ifeoma, Lola. Who is Ifeoma? Oh, Anita, the ex-wife. The present wife of Paul is Anita. No. It's Ifeoma. Okay. And the rest of our family members are family. But P Square is an entity that belongs to the public as much as it does belong to us. Our fans, I like the way it belong to us. Our fans have played a significant role in our success. So they have the right to know what's happening with their beloved brand P Square. How many times do I say that? I say, Baba, you think this is a private matter? I know, I agree. But it is also our matter. Remember I was saying that to Uncle Doyle Ireti / Patrick yesterday. Yeah. It's public figure. You're a public figure. This is now energy you have to manage, sirs. Okay. Let's see. That's why it's understandable when certain aspects of our lives are shared publicly. Now, let's get straight to the point. I want to make it clear that I never reported my twin brother Paul to the EFCC. I know many of you were disappointed when Paul accused me of doing so. Right? They always, I'm disappointed. Why did she tear up the passport? Never mind everything else that's happening behind the scenes. He mentioned that I wrote a petition against him, which he claimed made the EFCC ask him to provide a surety. This statement suggested that he was detained, which is not true. Peter, Paul, and Jude own a management company together called Northside Entertainment. All three of them. They own the entertainment company, which we use to manage all our P Square's affairs. One day, I discovered another company with a similar name. Ouch. But this one was called Northside Music instead of Northside Entertainment. Uh-oh. Since we're telling on each other, let's just go ahead and tell on each other, huh? Interesting. Oh, I didn't see that coming. No, I refused to read it since yesterday. I was like, I want to read it live on the show so that I can have authentic reactions. Let's keep going. So he said, so Northside Music and Northside Entertainment. Yes, even in my own local jurisdiction, those are two different companies and entities, okay? This surprised me, so I decided to, even if there's space, there's multiple space in between. Probably they won't let you put multiple space, but my point is that there's a comma or there's an apostrophe somewhere, like it makes it a different company entirely. So this surprised me, so I decided to investigate further, and guess what? To my shock, the founders and directors of this secret company were none other than Jude Okoye and his wife, Ifeoma Okoye. Oh, so Jude Okoye's wife is Ifeoma, not the new wife of Paul. Okay. The registered address was the family home of Jude's wife. Still in shock. Okay. That is definitely fraudulent behavior. There's no other way to call that what it is. All right. I knew I had to talk to Paul about it. I approached him multiple times, at least 4 different times, asking if he knew something about this secret company and the whereabouts of some of P Square's royalties. Each time I met with him, he denied knowing anything about it. I want to set the record straight. I hereby challenge Paul or anyone else to show any petition that I, Peter Okoye, ever submitted against my twin brother Paul, and that has Paul's name on it. That should be easy to pull up. That should be publicly accessible, right? Anyway, 3. I am still writing this with so much shock because I gave clear instructions to my legal team with a standing order that under no circumstances should Paul be included in my petition. Their focus was to remain solely on the primary suspects, Jude Okoye and his wife, Ifeoma Okoye, since they were the directors of this secret company, Northside Music, not Northside Entertainment. Paul's recent interview about the EFCC incident contains a lot of lies. I watched and listened to Paul's interview. I was totally speechless, and I kept asking myself, how does Paul have the audacity to publicly tell lies like this? Even with a respected and reputable agency like the EFCC. He claimed I petitioned him, but that's not something that ever happened to Paul. The truth is, this was something that actually happened to Jude. Okay, there's got to be some kind of... So why would they invite him? Maybe they are doing their investigations? The real story goes back to the shocking discovery I made, but what really got me very upset was finding out that for years, millions of dollars and hundreds of millions of naira were being secretly diverted into this secret company's account, Northside Music, from our own company. It gets real, doesn't it? Chinye say, oh snap. It gets real. Northside Entertainment. This was not just a minor issue. No, this is not a minor issue. Like I said, that brand is a multi-million-dollar brand. The P-Square brand. So it's not as simple as two brothers should not fight. It's a dicey situation. You know, it's kind of like it becomes when people that used to have sex start to fight each other in a marriage. Yeah. Similar. In ways, sorts, right? It was a massive betrayal that had been going on for several years. Don't forget, Jude is a brother, a blood brother. You know when people say blood is thicker than water? You know who would say blood is thicker than water? Paul will say that. Peter will not say that. Paul will say blood is thicker than water, and that should mean we shouldn't drag each other. Anyway, we're talking about potential fraudulent behavior here. I understand that Paul is angry because I took this matter to the EFCC. And I understand why. However, bearing in mind that I have met Paul and Jude separately and tried to discuss this matter, and he yielded me with no positive answer. In fact, the last time I approached Paul, the conversation got heated up and he said, and I quote, "Peter, go and do your worst." At this stage, I was left with no other choice but to report to the authorities and take legal action. So we haven't seen the last of this. If this is true, we're going to see more. If we don't see more, he probably is lying in these letters. I doubt it. Jude was then detained. After being questioned, he came clean and admitted he had been diverting millions of dollars of our money to this secret company. That he and his wife were the director of all of Jude's bank accounts were immediately frozen. All the accounts were frozen. Okay, so maybe they are linking 1 to 2 and 3. He was eventually released on bail after he managed to provide a surety and met the other bail conditions. Meanwhile, further investigations are still going on until now. Paul's name was never mentioned in the petition because he was never a director of this secret company. Unless there is something he is hiding from all of us. See, now why would somebody who lives in a glass house be throwing stones? That part I don't understand too. If you know there's ongoing investigations, there's only one reason: somebody who claims to be logical who is caught up in their emotions. Because that's not logical. That doesn't make any logical sense. If you know that there's investigations going on and potentially you could be implicated, or your brother could be implicated, or you could come off like a traitor, a betrayer, why would you literally be telling on yourself? I know why. Because they tell on themselves all the time. They don't know how to talk in the emotions. They claim everybody else is not emotional, but they literally operate from their place of, they tell on themselves. Why are you on an interview, Paul Okoye, saying all that stuff? Anyway, the EFCC, no, let me continue from here. Paul's name was never mentioned in this petition because he was never a director of this secret company, unless there's something he's hiding from all of us. Paul was only invited for questioning, just like Jason Njoku of Iroko TV. Not Jason Njoku of Iroko TV. Amaju Pinnick and others who had transactional dealings with the Northside Music. Interesting. The EFCC investigation found out that Northside Music had been secretly collecting P Square's royalties over the years, because since this is a little, it can be easily overlooked, even though it's not the same entity, because Northside Music, Northside Entertainment, if you submit it to Apple Music or something like that, they'll just send money to the wrong account. Eesh. That's why you got to keep the checks and the balances. Check everything. Always. To protect everybody, by the way. No, it's not like I don't trust you. It's to protect everybody. That's all. You know. Anyway, over the years, they've been diverting money. This royalty money were sent to a bureau de change, then transferred to Jude's personal bank account. A closer look at Jude's account statement revealed that once the money entered his personal account, there were multiple transactions where he was splitting the funds equally with Paul without Peter. This naturally led to some questions. Sort of kind of like maybe you're also invited. Or more. After Jude confessed to diverting the funds, he also told the EFCC that the money he had been sending to Paul for several years wasn't about sharing money behind Peter's back. Instead, it was money he owed Paul from the sale of their house in America, which he was gradually paying back the loan. This is the reason why Paul has been telling everyone that the EFCC has cleared him, as if I ever wanted him to get into trouble with the EFCC. Which one is more believable, Paul's story or Peter's story? Because we don't know. Wallah, we don't know. I don't know. Let's continue. The story is very long, but I will tell it all in due time. For now, I will stop here until the EFCC sends the final report to my legal team. Once that happens, before heading to the law court, I will make the exact petition that doesn't include Paul's name public. I will also release the EFCC final report, receipt, and other documents related to this secret company, including the CAC registration, bank transactions, and bank statements that Jude set up with his wife, Ifeoma Okoye. May God help us all. Oh God. And then an open letter. Okay, this is the beginning of the open letter, I guess. Did I miss something? Okay, so this was the beginning of the open letter here. Let me just read the beginning. It says, open letter to my dear brother Paul Okoye, aka Rude Boy. My dear brother Paul, just like I have told you several times, I am not in any competition with you. I am not in any competition with you or anybody else. However, seeing you grant countless interviews where you constantly discredit my efforts in the group that we both created and built together really speaks volumes. In your recent interviews, you claim that you wrote and sang 99% of all P Square songs and discredited me by saying that our song with T.I. Ejajo, which I wrote, was a failure. That's ouch. I heard him when they said that earlier. You went as far as using the YouTube views to discredit me once again. You never acknowledged the other songs like Get Squared, Busybody, Personally, Roll It, Temptation, Alingo, More Than a Friend, Shekini, Say Your Love, Give Me That, Senorita, Igbedu, and a few others. Were these songs also considered failures as well? Or more, let me come to the chat. This guy is right here, man. Jude is telling Paul something to have him on his side. Jude is telling Paul something, sending Paul something to have him on the side. Okay, sending something. Paul was all over the place. I didn't even understand what it was talking about, you know. But let me see if I can get a quick summary of what he was saying in that interview from maybe one of our news channels here. Let me see if we can grab it. More. Let's see. Okay, so let me see this one from Leadership News. More than 2 years after their highly publicized reunion, Nigerian singing twin, Sensation Peter and Paul Okoye, popularly known as P Square, have split again. Popular singer and half of P Square, Paul Nonso Okoye, confirmed that the latest separation with his twin brother the twin brothers, who started their music career in 1999 and dominated the African music industry for over a decade, first separated in 2016. The brothers in 2021 patched things up after a 4-year rift. 4 years not talking to my brother. I don't know. There's only one thing I can blame for this. Okay, maybe two things: money and the women in our lives. Well, I can't blame the women. I'm sorry. Let's just say money. And several public controversies that alienated colleagues and fans. During their initial splits, Paul released songs like Fire, Fire, blah, blah, blah. I want to see the quotes. Let me see. He explained that before they collaborated with T.I. Rude Boy explained that their initial separation was caused by the public misconception about who primarily sings their songs. He explained that before that, they collaborated with T.I. There was debate among their fans that Paul was the songwriter with the sweet voice, while Peter was the dancer. Rude Boy acknowledged this contributed to their 2017 separation and affected their song Ejajo with T.I. as fans missed his signature voice on their tracks. This time around, our elder brother Judy Okoye, who people accused of causing issues amongst us, has no hands in this. When we came back, Jude was not even in the picture at all. No manager, no director, nothing. He was still on his own. There's a lot people don't know. And that's why I always tell people, mind the people you bring close, especially people that were never there when you were somewhere. He said, the plan of our coming back together was going to produce a lot of hit albums. But as it is now, I'm just focusing on Rude Boy. Trust me, it is not everything that I would want to say. I was accused of saying that Peter was the dancer while I'm the singer. I know that whenever we go to the airport, people ask, are you a singer or a dancer? What? So petty. This is all irrelevant and stupid. I didn't know it was touching him. See, I couldn't really hear him when he was talking. I didn't know it was touching him. But I know, that sounds like, I know you're jealous of me. It's because you're jealous of me, right? You're jealous of me. But I know there was a time we came together and said, don't allow this thing to get to you. You should be proud of what you're doing. That's the role you're playing. Okay. We have a song we did with T.I. Ejajo. That was when the issue started. Till today, that song is still on 3 million views 15 years after. Because people didn't hear the P Square's voice that they are used to. That means his own voice. When we came back together, I should have read this instead of playing that video earlier. Sorry about that. When we came back together, because I didn't want the issues that happened before, I told my brother to show himself. Let us be involved in the creative process together. I told him we should share who carries the tracks equally. But still, it wasn't working. The new P Square was peaceful. I needed the past mistakes not to repeat themselves. But then, again, Peter said he's no longer interested. In fact, he told me in the face that he wants to quit. I asked if we could make it public and he refused. But what will happen when I go solo? People will call me the bad person. That's why I'm speaking up now. So again, that's a clearer version of what Paul had to say. So my question for you, I'm rounding up right now. My question for you is that, who do you believe? Who is more believable in all of this? Never mind me. Let's just tell me, who do you believe in all of this? I want to know. I'm curious. You can leave that in the chat or in the comment later on if you're part of the replay gang. Okay. But before we leave, let me see what these ones are saying. Someone says Cynthia Morgan was saying these things about Jude, but Nigerians kept on saying she is high, this and that. Smile. You all will definitely learn in a hard way until sentiment stop ruling over reality truth. Okay, yes, Cynthia Morgan used to be managed by Jude and she's been talking for a while. Somebody said this is what accountability and integrity looks like. The truth can be delayed but never denied. Mr. P has my utmost respect for this. Okay. All right. Now, you guys have seen the two sides of the story. You know how I like to see two sides of the story, okay? How long have I been talking about Paul here? I always give grace. I don't make conclusion. I just say this is what this look like, right? But when I just like to hear two sides of the story, you have two sides of the story now. So tell me what you believe. Oh. Tell me, okay? Somebody said, no wonder Jude they build mansion hurriedly. I've been talking, say, where this man they see money like this. His wife too quick, bought St. Kitts citizenship. Oh, they buy St. Kitts citizenship. Spending someone else's hard-earned money. Cynthia Morgan was here shouting to the world to hear. People, they curse her. All of you that said Lola was the problem, may God have mercy on you. Hey, wala wala. So they're saying Lola is now exonerated. Is that what we're saying?
Obìnrin.
Ẹ ṣọ́ra fún obìnrin o. Ọlọ́run á máa ràn yín lọ́wọ́ o. I won't be too quick with that. You know, the issue is not just obìnrin. Let me be clear about that. Pardon me, I'm joking. But the reality is that the dynamics between a man and a woman, when a man does not understand a woman, oh yeah, of course if it collect. Directly, indirectly, and all of the above, yes. Manipulation, all of the above. Life will not to say Jude is telling Paul something. Okay, we already read that. One thing my twin sister and myself have solidified is you can't come between us. You tell me anything about Sophie, I'm telling her. I like that. You know what would be interesting? What would happen if we bring in a multi-million-dollar type of thing in between the two of you? If you guys can withstand that, beautiful, solid, you know. I want to apply some grace to them. They're not prepared for what that, money is a multiplier, like women. Go figure. Money multiplies people's behavior. So everything gets magnified, So I'll call them some grace, hopefully they'll figure it out. But this is what money can cost, not just because of women, between families, even between two brothers, even without the presence of women, So it is what it is. I hope people are learning from this. When I say life, may God help us from evil. Older brother, yes. Diverting all that money. Like, come on, man. That's fraudulent now. Chi said Peter is who I believe. Lobaton. Uncle Beno said Paul was easier to manipulate than Peter. Wahala. Jude took advantage of him to ruin their brand. But he was collecting that money. Did he ask where's the money coming from? I wonder. Was he asking where the money coming from? He probably did not. He did not. But let me know in the chat. Let's round up for the day. I'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. same time. We'll come here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, 5 p.m. Happy hour. Just to chat. I try to keep it to 2 hours or low, but may God help us. I'm 15 minutes over right now. Help me. Please hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. Hopefully we can do a weekend session, call-in session this weekend. But hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you are notified when we go live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we're here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, our 12-month program, regularly priced at $9,875, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and qualify for over $8,000 in scholarships. Take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve.